Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime News at the start of this festive weekend. I'm Bernadine Jai Singha. Before we begin, let's take a look at tonight's headlines.
Farmers in Ampara accuse authorities over fertilizer scarcity. Podujana Perumana files petition at Supreme Court over rejected nominations for Maharagama. Stock of narcotic pills worth 25 million rupees seized in Kiribati. Defying Trump, 128 countries at UN General Assembly Emergency Special Session condemn US Jerusalem decision.
The fairy lights are up at Braybrook Street and Echelon Square in Colombo, which can only mean one thing: Christmas is just around the corner. We go first to Christmas Zone at Braybrook Place at the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited head office, where Sarah Fonseca is among the crowds enjoying the festivities. Hello, Sarah.
You must be wondering why this place is crowded and lit up. Well, I got the answer for you for that. Today marks the day 2 of the Newsfirst Sirsa Christmas Zone in Braybrook Street, Colombo 2. If you haven't dropped by, this is an open invitation for you to come drop by. We'll be here till tomorrow. From tomorrow 4 p.m. onwards, it will be open to the public as well. So come drop by and make this Christmas a memorable one. And we have plenty of events lined up for you. We have a musical show here, and at the same time we have a snow zone and a lot of other things happening. So here's another open invitation for you to come join us and make this Christmas a memorable one with Newsfirst. I'm Sarah Fonseca, back to the studios.
Day 2 of the Sirsa Christmas Zone was opened under the auspices of Right Reverend Diloraj Kanagasabe, the presiding Bishop of Colombo for the Church of Ceylon.
We cannot celebrate Christmas by simply looking at the crib and forgetting what happened at Mount Calvary. During Christmas, Jesus calls on all to rebuild their lost relationships with each other. Jesus resides in the crib inside both you and I, and not only in Bethlehem. There is something we can learn from the life of Jesus Christ. Before Jesus spoke to the hearts of the people, he listened from his ears. If you take a look at the lesson of leadership, what do we, from the chairman of the Capital Maharaja Organisation to the bottom of the chain of staff, do? We walk from village to village listening to the people. We inquire into them. The start for a better future we all aspire begins if we listen. This section of the Sirsa Christmas Zone is our ancestral home. We hand over this to the people as well.
This year, devotees will have the opportunity to pay homage to a statue of Mother Mary, which has been blessed by His Holiness Pope Francis at the Vatican. Carols brought life to the Christmas Zone, while other activities children can participate in and enjoy include musical concerts and magic shows. Snow, which is something extremely rare in Sri Lanka, is the main attraction among children.
There is always something new down Braybrook Place. We came here with our kids to enjoy. We are happy and proud for something like this to take place in Sri Lanka. Nobody has done something like this before. Just think about it. Nobody will do something like this.
It is very nice. And I never see this. This time they decorated well.
Many farmers who visited the Nama Thalava Gradient Services Centre in Ampara to obtain urea fertilizer returned home empty-handed today.
The Nama Thalava Gradient Services Centre in Ampara oversees around 10,000 acres of paddy land, but they were only issued with 250 bags of urea fertilizer.
I'm yet to add fertilizer. I only added the oil. I'm compelled to wait in line to obtain the required fertilizer. We don't have fertilizer for our fields. They only issue 2 bags for the entire 3 acres. They only issue 100 kilograms of urea. Nobody is using urea to make sweets. Fertilizer is issued to the fields. If someone purchases large amounts of sugar, one can assume that it is to brew moonshine. Urea was not added to the fields for ages. I came here for 4 consecutive days. They don't have fertilizer. I'm here again. What is going to happen to paddy cultivations? Are we supposed to tell the plants to stop growing? It's been 10 days now. The authority is spending time inside $1 billion worth. More than 20 million rupees. We cannot go there. We need fertilizer. God bless the blue-green economy. You are too late. The paddy fields are aging. If we don't get fertilizer in time, the crop will age. We will only be able to reap 50% of the crop. This is what I have to ask from the government. There are MPs from the Ampara district. Are the other farmers adding salt to their paddy fields?
I need fertilizer, if not I will consume poison. Without fertilizer I will not leave this place. They come to obtain votes and promise many things. We get nothing. They only want the votes. Is this how you work?
Roshan Waduge, the chairman of one of the state fertilizer companies, speaking to Newsfirst, said 7,000 metric tons of fertilizer is being distributed. He said a vessel carrying an additional 72,000 metric tons of fertilizer will reach port before the 31st of December. However, he admitted the stocks which have been released are not sufficient for cultivations in the Maha season.
They claim to have no fertilizer, but they released 20,000 metric tons. This stock was concealed. When they created the shortage and increased the prices, they rip off the innocent farmers. There is urea, TSP and MOP. All fertilizers are made after mixing these 3 together. There's a control price for the mixed fertilizer. They set it for 3,500 rupees. Approval has been given to import rice until the 31st of March. When the harvest is reaped, they will bring spoiled rice stocks to the country. Then what happens? The value of the local crop drops. They will create an opportunity to rip off the local farmers. This government has no plan at all. Duminda Dissanayake is for paddy, P. Harrison is for grain, Rishad Baduddin is for the rice, ministers for everything. Even with such a large number, they have failed to issue fertilizer on time.
We now go to the newsroom where we are joined by Shahin Jurampati.
Thank you very much, Bernadine. Well, on Wednesday, we spoke about the controversy regarding Sri Lankan Airlines, where Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and Tourism Minister John Amaratunga have brought in a joint cabinet paper through the Cabinet Subcommittee on Economic Management to establish a partnership between Sri Lankan Airlines and AirAsia to create a low-budget airline in the country to promote tourism, as they say. We also discussed the implications of 2 people, namely Dilhan Haradasa, the Group Head of Network and Regulatory Affairs at AirAsia, and Mahinda Haradasa, a Director at Sri Lankan Airlines. However, inadvertently, our news telecast on Wednesday had shown the picture of Mr. Sithampalam Kumaranathan. Mr. Sithampalam Kumaranathan has over 30 years experience as an attorney at law and is a senior partner at a leading firm. We tender an unqualified apology to Mr. Sithampalam Kumaranathan. With that being said, let's talk about the issue at hand once again. The person we were talking about on Wednesday was Mahinda Haradasa. This is a picture of Mahinda Haradasa. Just to give you a recap, Dilhan Haradasa on to my left is the nephew of Mahinda Haradasa. Dilhan Haradasa of AirAsia was the one who, through a presentation, explained to the Cabinet Subcommittee on the proposal to bring in AirAsia into the country. Mahinda Haradasa, in 2016, was appointed by the Prime Minister to a committee with the task of selecting candidates to be appointed to the positions of chairmen, CEOs and directors of public enterprises in the country. Now, Mahinda Haradasa, who was a part of that committee, goes on to eventually become a director at Sri Lankan Airlines as well. The question we have is, why are these two gentlemen, the Haradasas, trying to bring in a low-budget airline into the country? It should also be noted that Mahinda Haradasa is also a partner at the same leading law firm as Mr. Sittampalam Kumaranathan, to whom we apologize once again. We are sorry about getting the wrong picture. We are even more sorry that our national carrier, Sri Lankan Airlines, is being piloted into the ground.
Have we forgotten?
8 witnesses from the Bank of Ceylon, National Savings Bank and People's Bank revealed former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake asked them to bid at lower rates at 2 bond auctions with the assurance that other bids at higher rates would not be accepted. These auctions were on the 29th March 2016 and 31st of March 2016. On both occasions, the central bank had accepted bids much more than the advertised amount and at higher rates. As the assurance given by former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake was violated, the state bank suffered an opportunity loss. The EPF purchased only 1 billion rupees worth of bonds in the auction, despite having a surplus of 10 billion rupees on the 29th of March 2016 auction day. However, EPF purchased 10 billion rupees of the same bond in the secondary market, causing the government to lose 550 million. A recovered deleted phone conversation dated 29th March 2016 revealed Arjun Aloysius instructed Kasun Palisena how to bid and was aware state banks were instructed to bid low. The Attorney General's department said the events where former Minister Ravi Karunanayake asking state banks to bid at a lower rate and the Karunanayake family coming to reside at a penthouse apartment had happened in the same month. It was suggested Arjun Aloysius had fixed the March 29 and 31st auctions with the assistance of the former Finance Minister.
Have we forgotten?
The tenure of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the bond issue will end in 9 days. The people await the decision of the Bond Commission.
The report on the Bond Commission will be released on the 31st. There are only a few more days. The pot of the rice has been cooked. Let's wait patiently to serve it. We have complete confidence in the President and the Commission. Let's not enter into assumptions. Once the report is released, let's act accordingly. We strongly believe that President Maithripala Sirisena will take immediate action based on the Commission's recommendations. We don't see any reason to delay it.
It's time for tonight's illustrated news by Asanka Ladawaheti. We're now joined by Joel Artskone, who is in the Newsfirst studio at Echelon Square, where the festive season is in full swing. Hello, Joel. Joel, over to you.
A very good evening. Thank you very much, Bernadine, and a very good evening to all our viewers. Well, we are joining you live from the Echelon Square here in Colombo. Well, when we are all gearing up for the festive season, the season of Christmas, another group of people known as politicians are gearing and getting ready for the upcoming local government elections. So I will be bringing you some local government election related news here from our studios in Echelon Square. So starting off the news this evening with some election related news. The Executive Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convened at the President's official residence this evening. Now the meeting centered around the local government elections and present political atmosphere in the country. 2 committees were appointed at the meeting to oversee election campaigning and to organize meetings in districts where the President will be making his visits. Now the Sri Lanka Freedom Party convened a media briefing in Colombo today. 2 of our nomination lists were rejected. The list were rejected due to issues between 2 of our organizers, not due to mistakes made from the party office. I believe that the 2 organizers should be held accountable for the rejections. We have put forward Asad Sali under our banner for Colombo. He is a good politician and has plenty of experience. He is not someone who was imported to the area. He knows about the issues faced by the people of this town. He is also a former deputy mayor, so he brings in a wealth of experience.
There is
no point in people like us remaining in power in the party. There are a group of young leaders who have come forward from the village level. They are the future of this country. Ranil Wickremesinghe has been in charge of the UNP for the past 25 years. However, the SLFP leadership has changed almost every 10 years. We have appointed the right people. When the right people enter the local government bodies.
Well, we are joining you live from the Echelon Square here in Colombo, and we are keeping you up to date on some election-related news this evening. Now, a group leader of the Podujana Peramuna, Nishant Vimalachandra, filed a writ petition with the Supreme Court today, seeking a writ order be issued against the decision to reject the party's nomination for the Maharagama Urban Council.
8 people, including the Colombo District Selection Officer Damayanti Wanigasinghe, Chairman of the Elections Commission Mahinda Deshapriya, and the 2 other members of the Commission, General Secretaries of the United National Party, Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, have been named as respondents in the petition. The petition says the Colombo District Selection Officer rejected their nomination, citing that it did not contain the required allocation for female representation. It calls on a writ order be made making her decision null, as it was an illegal rejection. The petitioners also request for an order to be made to prevent the election for the Maharagama Urban Council from taking place until the petition is taken up and a decision is made.
Now, what is the security plan for the upcoming local government elections? Well, the Sri Lanka Police and the Elections Commission have planned out the security protocols that will be in place for the local government polls.
Sri
Lanka Police will require monetary allocations for operations that will be conducted in relation to elections. Today, a sum of 30 million rupees was approved for operations until the 31st of December. The provisions from the 1st of January will be decided later on. When it comes to the issues faced by female candidates, Sri Lanka Police will establish a separate unit at the Women's and Children's Bureau and take immediate action against all incidents of harassment against female candidates. There were processions yesterday. Police have taken legal action against some of those incidents. 14 incidents were reported this morning as well. And finally, in some news coming into you from the elections headquarters down in Echelon Square, Colombo, the Deputy Leader of the United National Party and Minister of Housing and Construction, speaking to the youth in Hambantota, criticized how youth were used in the past.
Many make use of the young generation at various instances as political weapons and at times a political toy. In the past, they boasted and portrayed the only avenue for youth to achieve their aspirations is this path and commented on the future of the youth. They stood on the laurels of the youth, and the powerful made their way to parliament and other palaces. Finally, a majority of the youth who pulled that weight were left abandoned. That is what you call opportunistic politics. We in the United National Party will give the youth the place they deserve.
Well, you are joining us live from the Echelon Square here in Colombo. Well, we brought you all the latest news from the election headquarters. But now on to a lighter note. With the festive season coming along, we can see people flocking down to Echelon Square and to take a look as to how our live news bulletins are ongoing. And you too could see for yourself how these little ones are excited to see it. Come down with your family and friends and take a first-hand experience of the Christmas zone lined up specially for you here down Echelon Square. There is some colorful lights. You can take a lot of selfies with your family and friends and also get into the whole season of Christmas. With that being said, we now go in for a short commercial break and Bernadine Jayasinghe will be joining you with the rest of the news bulletin. That's it. I'm Joel Outschool.
Welcome back to the news. In more local news, 8 people, including one who was in direct contact with notorious underworld leader and drug peddler Makandure Madush, were arrested by police. Firearms, hand grenades and stocks of heroin and Kerala ganja were seized during a special operation.
Last afternoon, police raided a house in Daguna, Nigambo following a tip-off and made the arrests. Personnel from the Police Special Task Force camp in Sri Javadanipura and Organised Crime Division carried out the raid. Makandure Madush has been identified as the prime suspects in the killing of 8 people, including notorious underworld figure Samyan. Samyan and several others were killed when underworld hitmen attacked their prison transport in Kalutara. The CID is carrying out a special investigation to arrest Makandure Madush.
Police discovered a stock of narcotic known as yaba from Paliagoda. This discovery is estimated to be valued at around 25 million rupees.
The intelligence unit of the Western Province, together with the Paliagoda police, carried out the raid following a tip-off. 2 youth were arrested along with 7,800 pills of the narcotics known as yaba. Police said they were intercepted when travelling to make a sale near the Paliagoda Urban Council. Police are conducting investigations to apprehend the mastermind behind this operation.
With that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe. Good night and take care.